It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
Turn up the oldies and jazz. Only emoji I know is the cash. Working so hard in this game, now my object is full of them grocery bags. Niggas be killing my line. Women be tripping, they killing my vibe. Only my homies been hissing so fight. Look at my crew, they been here the whole time. Blast back, cash back, clean like hazmat. Oh, finna hit a stain for the cash app. Oh, finna put my team on the map like oh. Right up from the dirt, nigga rap like bro. Bitch game, rich gang, Jews on display. Bruce Lee flow, high del for the kid gang. Stirring up the pot, whole time got the wrist gang. Shot y'all, let me stick down like wet paint. Might drop a stack at the bridge. Call me a dog, might snap like a pit. Southside nigga with the brass on dead. Spotlight on me, you snap you a pit. Shit, I'm looking like a lid. What a nigga pay for the fit? Got it for the free, I ain't playing with the chip. Any day, nigga might push up in the bill. 40 gon' bang, lemonade, song, part of my juice, part of my swag, part of my flavors, part of my dab, part of my strut, part of my bag. If I ain't take a loss, better get it right back. Part of me, 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 yeah. Part of my juice, part of my swag, part of my flavors, part of my dab, part of my strut, part of my bag. Might take a loss, better get it right back. Part of me, 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 yeah.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this Sunday afternoon. If you hear any kind of rain, wind, or anything like that in the background, we're going through inclement weather out here in Atlanta. Sometimes my mic catches on what's going on outside the window and stuff like that, so just pardon all that. Pardon me. But in this particular video, we're going to be getting into Ray Daniels and his theory about what's going on with Kanye and perhaps Drake. He's got a theory that this whole I don't like Kendrick Lamar music, I didn't need to hear him on Playboi Carti's album and all the interviews that he was doing where he was giving Kendrick Lamar credit while also kind of backhand complimenting him, saying he's better, or trying to make it seem like he's going to outdo what it is that Kendrick was able to accomplish in the last, let's just say, year or so. He claims he's going to be at the next Super Bowl. Nigga, have you gotten cool back with Jay-Z yet? You have you forgotten who makes the decisions up there? He say he going to be at the next Super Bowl. He say he's going to walk away with the most Grammys next year. You know what I'm saying? He say the only person that could go up against him would be someone such as himself, who's such a psycho genius and all these different things. And, you know, I got on here the other day and definitely laid into that motherfucker, ripped him a new one. And I ain't sorry for it. Now, I know some people out there say, oh, man, ignore Ye, he'll go away. Excuse me. We are in the year of 2025. Ye has been on the do not disturb list for what, about 10 years? He ain't went away yet. Thought the motherfucker went away. He came back with a goddamn mouth full of chrome. That nigga mouth looked like a Tesla when he came back. So I don't give a fuck with nobody talking about no. I'm on that nigga head. He want to keep coming outside. We gonna keep talking about his ass. Fuck it. Some people say, well, what about his mental health issues and all that type of stuff? Hey, man. That nigga know what he doing. If he got you fooled, God bless. All right? I do think he does have some instability, but I'm not finna blame all of his activity and behavior on one thing. That's how a lot of folks be getting over on y'all, running amok in y'all lives. But, you know, God bless. So Ray Daniels thinks that all of this is leading up to some sort of reconciliation between himself and Drake. Now, do I think that they're ever going to be like friends again, like super cool? No. I don't even think Ray Daniels is on point with this theory, by the way. But he said he's talked to someone that's very well known and respected in the industry, someone who is within the Drake camp. I won't say OVO, but he's within the circumference of Drake's camp, and claims to be the only person that could possibly make this happen. And he said a couple months ago that conversation was already kind of in the atmosphere. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Ray Daniels come on and express his theory of a possible Kanye West Drake collaboration album that will help propel both of them back into the favor of the fans. Now, when we say the fans, I'm not necessarily talking about y'all. Most of the people that, tune into these videos are pretty much Kendrick Lamar fans. But we're talking about the mainstream, the pop friendly. I don't give a fuck so much about, the culture, the history of rap. More so, give me the slaps and I'm good, That crowd where if they can make good enough music, catchy enough music, they could captivate those people. Now, again, do I think that this is accurate? No. Do I think this is going to happen? No. But all things are possible, especially when it comes to Ye. So let's get into it.
What do I think Kanye is up to? So to me, I think Kanye is trying to turn rap into the WWE. I think Kanye is trying to be the Vince McMahon of rap music. He's inserting himself in everything. He's making all of these, he's creating all these spectacles and everything. But here's what I think his plan is. I think Ye feels like him and Drake together can take down everybody. So what I think Ye is really doing is, I think him and Drake spoke. I think he said, you sit down, I'm going to make the noise. And then I think he's baiting Kendrick to respond to him only so he can come back and diss Kendrick, but come back with Drake. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I think is happening. Because okay, look it up from this perspective, right? Kanye has a weird obsession with Drake, a very weird obsession, right? And if you looked at it through the lens of who Kanye has always been and who Drake is and who Kendrick is, you would think he would side with a Kendrick, right? Like that seems more, they're both Geminis, they both have revolutionary, they both speak up even when it's not popular. So you would think he would naturally go with Kendrick, but he went with Drake. So now you gotta say, why would he go at Kendrick? He's going at Kendrick because he's gonna be the only person on Drake's side. And I think him and Drake, I'm not lying. I swear to God, I can't say who, I can't say what, but maybe 6 months ago, I tweeted something about this, and somebody who's really big in the music business called me like, yo, I like your perspective. And then I was like, boom, boom. And I swear to God, I'm not lying to y'all. And this person says to me, he goes, I think you just gave me an idea. Because, this person's really close to Drake, like really close to him. And he was like, I think you gave me an idea. Because we were just talking. And he was like, yo, I want my man to win. My man is getting, and I'm like, and I said to him something. He said, you just inspired me. And I'm like, what? He said, I think Drake can come back if him and Kanye did a joint album. And I was like, no. And then he goes, I was like, no, I say, that actually sounds kind of dope. And he was like, yeah. And then he said, his exact words is, I'm the only person in the world that can do it.
I'm stop him right there. We're gonna get back to it. I'm gonna be very clear. You put Kanye and Drake together on an album, it's not gonna do what y'all think it's gonna do. Kanye is still Kanye to some people, a lot of people out there that, they're blind followers. They buy anything he puts out. He has a very solidified fan base, right? He showed that with the previous album with Ty Dolla $ign. Whatever it was that first week, them niggas did over 200,000, some crazy shit. However, with all of the people that Kanye is pissing off, not only in terms of consumers, but in the record business, who is going to support it? Who is going to make it a long-standing thing? Who is going to put the proper backing behind the project for it to even matter? And when I say matter, I'm not saying that they can't sell records. I'm saying who's going to make it matter in terms of, if Kendrick is the guy right now, how are you supposed to put any chinks in his armor with a Kanye and Drake project? Two artists that are damaged, two artists that are trying to go through a recovery phase with no real path to recovery in the public eye, because it's just not their moment. It's not their time, right? Not to say, I think that if they did it, they could probably make some good music together. Like, although I'm not the biggest fan of the collaborations that they've done over the years, there's still a possibility there, especially when you put all those writers in one room. I mean, goddamn, if you got 12 writers in a fucking room, y'all can't make nothing that bangs? Shit. But outside of that, I just don't see how you go against the champ. You want to do a 2-on-1 challenge against the champ, and he double clothesline y'all ass, then what? You know what I'm saying? Because we got one guy who, I already said it the other day, this nigga's rapping and singing. He's using AI to compile his ideas. He's rapping and singing in terms of like not even saying words. He's just emoting sounds in his music now. Then you got the other guy who can't seem to find his identity. He wants to be gangster one day. He wants to be R&B heartthrob the next day. There's talk of him possibly employing AI technology on his own music. Y'all not finna beat the real deal. Again, y'all could put some numbers on the board, but you're not gonna beat him. Plus, tell me who the fuck Kanye has beat in a rap battle in hip hop. I ain't talking about no motherfucking 50 Cent outsold that nigga on some let's put our album out on the same day and who does better. I'm saying, who has he gone back and forth with on wax? And I'm not saying that Kanye should have won a battle, because I never looked at him in that light. But for him to try to hypothetically get with Drake and go at Kendrick on a 2v1, who the fuck has he out-rapped in that fashion for us to even give him any kind of leeway or thought process that he could? You know what I'm saying? That nigga dissed. He put out one diss, first diss of his career that I'm aware of. Last year, he went at Drake. He said, fuck J. Cole. And went at Lucian Grange. It's not enough. But I'm going to let homie finish.
Get them two to sit down and see eye to eye and see how to put an album together. If I'm right, by the way, I don't know. This is just, I'm by the way, when we do the radar report, guys, I'm just talking to my team. They sit behind the camera, we talking everything, and we just talk about things. But I just realized he said that to me. He was like, I think Drake and Ye should do an album together. I'm gonna call you back. I'm about to call Drake. And I'm like, and he was like, bro, I'm gonna tell you something. If this shit happens, I'll make sure the world knows you inspired this for me. And I'm like, that's all I need. Just tell him that. But I think the powers that be are sitting back, because let's be clear, the powers that be want Drake to win. The powers that be need Drake to win. Let's be clear. Drake is what they call, what's the word I'm looking for? He will cooperate with the system, right? So you need Drake to win. He's actually the perfect thing for the system, right? He's half black, half white. We already talked about nigga and yarmulke, right? He's friendly. He's all these things. He lets everybody in. He's bigger than everybody. So the industry needs Drake to win more than they need Kendrick to win. Kendrick brings in troublemakers. Drake brings in hits. Kendrick brings in trouble. He brought trouble to, and what I mean by trouble, I'm not talking about to us, I'm talking about to the system, right? Kendrick is doing songs like We Gonna Be All Right and fucking To Pimp a Butterfly, and he's talking about the fucking injustices, and Drake is just talking about getting money, fucking bitches, having fun. Who the fuck you think the system wants to win, guys? Drake. So I'm thinking that the system is, these guys at the top are like, how can we save our favorite? Because let's be clear, there will be residue if Drake fucking falls off. There will be residue. You got to remember how many other artists that he helped. You got to remember, it's like when one tide rises, the other ones fall.
As much as that sounds like it makes sense, I'm not jacking it. If Drake has already taken a humongous hit, I ain't gonna say he's completely fallen, but he's definitely lowered his rungs. And I think that the artists that he's collaborated with, they're just on a decline on their own. Like Lil Baby, he's on a decline off his own volition. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't grown musically. His subject matter hasn't grown. He hasn't figured out how to like rap without using that same fucking auto-tune filter on his voice the entire album. It's not sonically pleasing, right? A lot of people went and gave that album a chance, which is why it did the numbers it did, in hopes of it being a good project. It just wasn't, right? Young Thug, we're gonna leave the verdict out on him because he's just getting back into the swing of things. I'm sure he'll have a pretty successful album rollout whenever it's time for him to start dropping again. Migos, they're already on a decline. I mean, R.I.P. to Takeoff. One of their members is not with us. The other two members, as solo artists, will never reach the heights of what their group did. And it doesn't look like there's a real pathway of them like getting back together and like keeping the band going. They're just in two separate places in life, in music. Seems like Quavo's still cool with Cardi. Offset is not. So there's division there. And you could go down the list of all of these different artists that Drake has classically collaborated with. Savage is still going to do numbers, but he's also in a category of like, if he drops another album that just sticks to the same script, the next 3 years probably are not going to be so friendly for him either, because he's coming into elder statesmanship himself. He's not a young whippersnapper straight out of motherfucking East Atlanta no more. You know what I'm saying? So the tide is already falling. The people are already eager for something new. So all the acts that Drake associates himself with, regardless of whether he teams up with Kanye or not, inevitably they're going to go backwards, right? The only person that's left is like Future. Future is like an anomaly. He's got the mainstream, he's got the underground, he's got the fucking, just like with this whole Playboy Cardi thing, right? He's on the Playboy Cardi project. He maneuvers throughout everybody. His brand is pretty much solidified to where it's like no matter what he does, it just works. And when it doesn't, he just goes and makes mixtape material that keeps him afloat. But the verdict is still out on whether or not him and Drake are even going to be collaborating anytime in the future. Like, we still don't know. So I don't see this amazing path of like restoration for Drake. I think the best course of action for Drake, honestly, is the one that he allegedly told the DJ that don't spin the other day, where he's working by himself in the studio and he's going to be reflective and introspective on a project. I think that's the best course of action that he can do, is to make, and I'm not saying to try to go and make a Mr. Morale, because I did see some people saying that. I don't think he needs to try to do that. I don't think he needs to, what do they call it? Psychologize himself on an album. I don't think that'll work in his favor. But just kind of almost like I hate to say the title, but Certified Lover Boy was like the last one. Scorpion, you know what I'm saying? Those last two projects. And find some bops that can restore you. You know what I mean? All the extra antics, all the other funny shit, the weirdo shit, leave that shit alone. And allowing Kanye to bring you down, because they're gonna fall out too, and it's gonna be public. So yeah, y'all might get a record out of it, but then it's gonna be a shitstorm to follow, because y'all niggas really don't like each other. Y'all ain't liked each other in a long time. So I just don't see no path to redemption for neither one of these niggas. Not to that degree where it's just gonna be like, oh my God, kumbaya. It's, you know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas is Latrell Sprewell. That's what y'all is, okay?
There'll be residue if Drake doesn't come back. We will need a new king. We're talking about the #1 streaming rapper for the last 10 years in a row. If we're gonna need a new king, then who is it gonna be? Who's even close? They don't want Kendrick to be the king. Kendrick is too fucking black. So I think that this person who is very powerful, very rich, very successful, figured out y'all two need each other. Because think about it. What is Kanye walking around with his shirt on with a what on it? A swastika. Drake is a Jew. So now when Drake stands next to Kanye.
All right. The part that I even forgot to mention about all this is Kanye's been blackballed by Universal. Okay? This is the same guy that when he lost his Gap deal, Adidas was trying to pack him out. He was already out of his contract with Def Jam. And Def Jam literally came out and said, we are not associated with this nigga in no way, shape, form, or fashion, just so you motherfuckers know. Because some people was like, whoa, what's Def Jam doing? What are the labels doing? Why are they allowing him? And they say, man, that motherfucker, he ain't with us. So much so, I think just about everybody that was with that nigga ended up getting their own separate deal to separate himself, Good Music, and all his entities from the Universal umbrella. They got that nigga the fuck out of here. Now, if you want to take the two enemies of UMG, put them together and do some NWO Red and Black type shit, I guess. But how many people look at Red and Black the same way that they looked at the other? And I'm not, that's not even considering like the Hulk Hogan bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We already talked about his racist ass once on this channel before. We're not going to get into all that. But I'm just talking about the way that the two factions within a faction were looked at. It was definitely different. So, y'all want to go off and do some shit like that? Again, it may work the first week, but who is going to make it stick? How are y'all gonna continue to elevate? Now they do have resources that one another can benefit from. Drake has the touring deals. Kanye can't get them because every time he sets up a tour, it ends up getting canceled. The venues end up saying, fuck you, you can't come here. So Drake could open up the doors for that. But is he willing to put his name and his business relationship with the Live Nations of the world and with the touring companies on behalf of a Kanye? I don't think so. Right? Because again, Kanye is a liability. He's going to ruin himself. He's going to ruin you. He's going to ruin any and everything that y'all touch together. He's in the middle of fucking ruining his own relationship with his child right now. I don't know if y'all have seen it, and I think North loves the fuck out of him. But I don't know if y'all seen this shit with Kanye trying to put out a song with Diddy, King Combs, and Northwest on it. Kim Kardashian hit him up and said, no, you can't put that song out. I own a trademark to Northwest's name. Therefore, she cannot be associated with this song. Kanye is having a hissy fit about it. He's mad that she owns the trademark, but she said, dog, when the children were born, we had a conversation about it and you allowed me to go file trademarks on behalf of our children's names so that nobody else would do it before we did. Now you have a problem with it, but he says it needs to be amended or else I'm going to burn this whole shit down. Right? But she says, I don't want my child associated with a song with Diddy on it and his son. Because, Kanye's whole thing is everybody's against Diddy. I'm going to bring him back. He's looking for the rejects. He's looking for the devil's rejects. And he wants to put together a coalition of them niggas. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out and tries to galvanize Diddy, try to find a way, an entry point for Drake, because he keeps shooting them bail. You know what I'm saying? Gives Tory Lanez a verse in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the people that are going through some level of cancellation in the culture, like himself. He wants to be on the other side of we can still do it, which ultimately is going to lead them into right wing, red pill, MAGA. And that's going to be the next phase of hip hop if his plan goes well. And whether or not his plan goes well, that's where we're heading. Even with Drake. And I think a lot of Drake fans don't want to necessarily be honest about that, but the way he's moving, the way he acts, the way he targets not only men, but goes harder at women, the way he's trying to act like the system is against him, he's trying to sue the label, trying to put himself in a place of victimhood when he knows that he initiated all of the downfall that's happening for himself. That's MAGA activity. Same thing Kanye did. Same thing we know from our president. So, more so than preparing for a Kanye-Drake collaboration, prepare for a right-wing, red pill, grifty era of hip-hop. And, just don't allow yourself to fall into it. Not to say you can't play people's music or like their music. Just don't fall victim to the trap, because they're going to they're going to poach you out of everything you could possibly have if you let them. That's what I see is on the horizon. All right? Try to let you get yours off, Ray. But, and it's very possible they could do this. But you seem a little bit too excited for me. That's just my take on it. Now, in other music news, and this is something I'm going to start doing on my channel, is like at the end of the big subject, we're just going to do a quick little shooting off the hip of like other news that probably wouldn't do well as its own thing. We've got producer Turbo the Great. If you don't know who this is, he's produced hits for Lil Baby, Gunna, Thug, Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown, and so many others within the industry. Last year, he was sued for $10 million from this guy by the name of Jamal Britt. And he is actually the voice behind the producer tag, Run That Back Turbo, right? And the original tag, its origin comes from a song that they made together called Afghanistan back in 2017. Now, ever since that song was released to the public and everything, Turbo has ran off and used that exact portion of the song as his producer tag on every song pretty much since then. And Jamal Britt claims that he's never been compensated for this producer tag. It's been used on nearly 100 songs. And he wants compensation, or at least he wanted compensation, because the lawsuit has been tossed. So Turbo the Great actually comes out on top. And we're going to go through real quick the grounds in which he came out victorious, right? So they say there's no more stressing out for Turbo over the case. Instead, the drama has officially faded to black a year after the claim was filed. The Grammy-nominated Diamond Certified producer Turbo has just won a copyright lawsuit regarding the use of his infamous Run That Back Turbo producer tag. The case filed by Georgia-based musician Jamal Britt in January 2024 has officially been dismissed in Turbo's favor. Britt sued Turbo along with Warner Chappell Music and several major record labels, claiming that his voice, originally recorded for the 2017 song Afghanistan, was used without his consent in the producer tag across several hit songs. The lawsuit claimed that the producer tag had appeared in over 80 popular tracks by some of the biggest artists in the industry, including Lil Baby, Gunna, Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown, many more. Britt filed to claim joint authorship of the tracks and also sought compensation for past royalties and damages. On March 7th, the court dismissed all claims against Turbo in his favor. It was ruled that all of the claims related to copyright infringement, the Lanham Act, and joint ownership were without merit. The decision reaffirmed Turbo's exclusive rights to the producer tag, confirming his control over its use in future productions. And one of the main reasons why this happened is because Turbo went off and trademarked the producer tag without Mr. Jamal Britt being included. And Jamal had to, concede that he became aware of this trademark happening without him. And he allowed it to take place. He didn't contend it. And he waited until a later time to come try to claim it. Okay? So they say, the ruling also clarified that Britt had no involvement in the tag's use beyond the original recording of the 2017 song Afghanistan, protecting Turbo's creative and intellectual property. Turbo's legal victory ensures that he retains full rights to the Run That Back Turbo tag, which has become synonymous with his signature sound and style. The tag has appeared in major releases, including Lil Baby and Gunna's 2018 hit, Drip Too Hard, which peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, as well as tracks from Chris Brown, Moneybagg Yo, etc. Turbo's legal team was victorious in defending his rights to the producer tag, as well as in securing a ruling that dismisses Britt's claims for all past royalties and damages. So even though his voice is continuing to be used on all these new songs, multi-platinum, even diamond certified songs, he gets nothing out of the deal. And what's crazy to me is, being that that tag originates from the song Afghanistan, my understanding of the situation was that you would typically have to credit the song Afghanistan as a sample in all future uses. But in this case, the judge says that is not so. And Mr. Jamal walks away with nothing. Okay? Thought that was going to go a different way, but it turned out in Turbo's favor, and he gets to continue using it into perpetuity because he's the one that owns the trademark, even though it's of another person's voice. Ain't that some crazy shit? Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.